Whoa.
What?
That's
What?
what?
Oh my God.
What the fuck? I don't mean this.
What the?
Should talk like that the whole time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Super Cast Brothers. It's the only Smash Brothers podcast where you get to the next voice. No, God, we're not doing that. But it is an episode time where, that's right, we're starting. I didn't warn you guys, and
I knew it. I knew it.
We got me, Zantok, otherwise known as Lister, as always. We got Jonno, otherwise known as John. Please, for the love of God, inject some sanity into your veins. And then, our guests today, making their second appearance on the show, which was also related to their first appearance. Thinking about it, it is Captain Gabe.
Hello. Can I get a round of applause, please? So good to be here. Thank you for having me back.
Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Oh my God.
We had you, what was that, last season, I think it was?
End of last season.
Something.
Right at the end of last season.
I had to check now because I hate myself. It was midway through last season.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
back in roughly about a year ago, actually. Little less than a year ago, but
Wow.
Actually, by the time this episode releases, 366 days ago.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
We've timed this perfectly.
Timed it perfectly.
Make a tradition out of this shit.
Yeah. This will be this will be my online church. My once a year.
Yeah.
Once a year commitment to everyone.
Here's to the captain of the church.
And to you.
Super Cast Brothers' very own Pope, Gabe.
Rest in peace, Gabe.
Rest in peace, Gabe. Well,
I hope I do someday. Not today.
Last time around, we had you discuss primarily, World of Warcraft. What characters, or what settings and whatnot could potentially be used for Smash Brothers. And we had an impromptu Smash or Dash for you that ended up being between the Guardian Druid class and the Destruction Warlock. Do you recall which one won?
Yeah.
Do we remember who won?
I do.
Who won that?
I have the notes in front of me, so I know what won.
Who won that?
Guardian Druid won.
I'm still playing the Druid. The Warlocks hit the bricks.
There we go.
Still got the
proofs in the pudding.
Well, as has been discussed in our past two episodes, recently I was down in Tucson, met up with the both of you at the Tucson Folk Festival that you two were running, and we discussed an idea of, hey, what if we did a Blizzard-centric Smash Bros. Episode? 4 characters, all from different Blizzard franchises. And time didn't work out to let us do it in person, but after hearing the audio from those 2 episodes, it's kind of a good thing. I'll be fucking real. Oh my God, I apologize for the people who listened to those episodes. If you powered through it, thank you. Because holy shit, I don't know if I would have, because God, it was rough.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you for your sacrifice. But now that we're all back in our normal locations, we can have normal audio, and we can do an episode together. And we've got, again, 4 Blizzard characters. We'll be talking about them later, doing another Battle Royale. No, we normally do one of those a season. With this cast, we figured this kind of feels Battle Royale instead of just matching them up. Before we can get to that, though, I don't know if you know about this game, but we start our Smash Bros. Episodes with something else. A little game we like to call Rate Their Chances.
Ooh.
So how this works is we have 5 characters. The guests typically do not know who these characters are ahead of time. So I don't remember if we ended up telling you who. I don't think we did, or at least I don't believe I did.
No.
how this works is we will go one character at a time. We will discuss their merits and why we think what we think their chances are being made into a playable character in the next Super Smash Brothers game, whenever the hell that game comes out. Who knows
for
when?
$120.
Yeah, probably.
Paper Mario.
I think we did him in an episode already. But
Really?
the only rules, but we'll discuss things first, kind of we don't necessarily have to have an order of talking, but typically I start things out. Then after we have some discussion, we'll throw out our numbers. A whole number in between 1 and 99. We don't do 0, and we don't do 100, because nothing is guaranteed with Sakurai. We got the Piranha Plant, for fuck's sake. I would have given that a 0.
So rate their chances. I got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Smash or Dash, we'll be discussing our personal wants and who we would rather have. With Rate Their Chances, it's us trying to figure out what is more, or what is the actual likeliness. Which is rough.
Okay. Yeah.
See how it goes.
Rough.
Yes. And the characters that we chose for this episode, because the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct just recently happened and we had an on-topic discussing it, we decided to pick 5 characters who either have a game, like a new game coming out, or have a game coming to the Switch 2 that was announced in the Switch 2 Direct. So they're all topical, at the very least. Now, there's no arguments can be made of, hey, this character hasn't had a game in X years, like King K. Rool, because they're all recent.
Yeah.
So, with that, let us begin with, from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and the upcoming Age of Imprisonment, Rauru. Rauru is a character that, Jonno, you pushed for hard last season in our roster redux project. And at the time, I was like, no, you're just slapping a function onto a character. I am very anti this. But the fact that he's now being made into a playable character in Age of Imprisonment means that we will actually see what he is capable of fighting-wise. And Zelda has not had a new playable character since Brawl, and arguably, depending on how you want to make the argument, since Melee. Could definitely use a character. Rauru being added into this game, being a big character to the team. Pretty decent odds, I would say.
Yeah, I'm curious what his fighting technique will be. Gabe, are you familiar with this character? Or?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not exactly familiar with his background but I played Ocarina of Time, like back in the day. Like I remember Rauru.
A little same concept with the character's nobility, but a different iteration of the character. This Rauru is a king, and he's also a 7-foot tall goat man.
King Rauru? Really?
The first king of Hyrule in the Breath of the Wild continuity.
Oh my goodness, he did well for himself.
He did indeed.
For a time, at the very least.
Then he got killed by Ganon, but hey, who hasn't been killed by Ganon?
Who hasn't, right?
It happens to the best of us.
And then he became a ghost, and he put the physical ghostly manifestation of his hand on Link's. And Link runs around using his arm to control things.
Link loses his arm, and then Ghost Rauru fuses dead Rauru's zombie hand onto Link's arm.
Ooh.
It's kind of gross when you really think about it. Link's running around with the zombie arm of the ancient king of Hyrule.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it a lot.
Kind of gross, kind of badass.
Yeah. Because then you don't have to deal with the ancient thing, just the arm. You got all the power, very little zombie. Very little zombie there. I'll take, zombie arm. And, I don't know what King Rauru is King Rauru different?
Very different character from Ocarina. Very different character.
Okay. But yeah, it's basically the same. Big goat guy. God, yeah, and honestly, physically speaking, 100%, right? Like this is somebody you have to bring in just aesthetically, and then
his
and nobility, right? And now, I mean, he did well for himself. How did he become king? What did he? I remember he was asleep.
Founded the kingdom.
He founded the king. Oh wow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know his backstory, so I'm like, I do remember this guy though. Don't remember what he did.
Yeah, him and his wife Sonia, they were the original founders of the Kingdom of Hyrule. Ganon raised an army. They tried to fight back with their I forget what they call their sages. Where he was.
Yeah.
I think was he a sage at all? I don't see it listed. No, he was a sage of. No, that's Sakurina. Yeah, he's not one of the sages in this game. He was just the king, and then he had the sages around him.
Okay.
But they tried to fight back against Ganondorf. Ganondorf killed them, but he was able to essentially use his magic to trap Ganondorf in a statue zombie form underneath the castle for like thousands of years until it finally broke free. And then Ghost Rider was like, "Hey, Link, I'm here to help. Here's my arm."
Here's my arm.
Yeah, here's my arm. It lets you basically have telekinesis. And he can attach objects together, which should not be attached. It's so science has gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
He can also basically warp straight upwards through solid objects. And what's the fourth power? Forget what the fourth power is.
I forget. You can basically use the zombie arm to play Minecraft.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. You get flint and steel, and you mesh them together on the crafting.
It really doesn't sound like there's anything negative. Like he is built for this, right? Like he's got movement, and and then it gives you kind of a space to theory craft about his like battle technique or whatever what you would call his style of fighting, or it's like what but he's big. He's got the size, he's got the look, he's got the movement. Yeah, I'm rating that real high. Is this where we rate it? Or
yeah,
who rates
yeah.
I think first.
Zantok, you want to go first on the rating so that we can have a scope of reasoning on it?
Yeah. So I'm not going super, super high because it's difficult to predict. And with the Zelda franchise, we haven't seen a character since Brawl. So are we going to get a new one? I think we should, but will we? Hard to say. And then past then, it's like, okay, if we do, there's a good chunk, a good selection of potential characters that could be added from the Zelda franchise. Rauru, Midna, Tingle if you're feeling spicy. I personally like the idea of Mifa. There's also Darunia. But there were others I can't remember. Avati is all up there. There's several options. So it's hard to be like, okay, who is the likely choice? But considering recency, considering Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment that the announcer switched to, I'm thinking at minimum for me, 60% is the minimum. And I struggle to go any higher than that, largely because Age of Imprisonment has not released yet. We don't know much about it besides just like basically it's happening. But I will go up to, let's say, 66% chance for me.
Wow, that is a lot higher than I thought you were going to go. Of course, my mind is contaminated by shades of the past, and remembering our discussion about this during our previous season, during Roster Redux, which was a very different time given, and Tears of the Kingdom was much newer. But you sandbagged this dude. I think you were the reason,
but
the reason why he didn't make it in. Yeah.
Yes, but the reason why I'm now suddenly positive about it is because Age of Imprisonment, new game. He's going to have an actual active involvement in it because this game is about the war when he was having to fight off Ganon. It's that time period, so it makes sense that we'll be actually
Sure.
see his capabilities and not just make assumptions based off the Ultra Hand
Yeah.
technique.
Yeah. Make a Korok fly. No, I agree. You know, the should about Zelda is so like, yeah, we should have had a new Zelda character since fucking Smash 4.
Yeah.
Like
A
Zelda is
non-Triforce
what
wielder, or at least a non-Link Zelda or Ganon. Please, dear God.
Yeah. And just now, I mean, again, I like the aesthetic pushes that Sakurai gave the characters in Ultimate to differentiate them. Like Zelda's now a Link to the Past form, and so like every different little leg of the series gets a representation through the existing characters.
Yeah.
It's like this is the third biggest best-selling franchise Nintendo has. Why is the series constantly fucking teabagged? Like,
Yeah.
why are they disrespected? Donkey Kong had the same problem for a while until Ultimate 2. So hopefully, we get that turned around in 6, and I feel confident about that. Especially because Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were these massive, earth-shattering games, Breath of the Wild especially. And it's safe to say that we'll get a new representative from one of those two games. Harder to say who. Raru's up there. Sidon, Mifa, Mineru, maybe.
Mineru would be interesting.
Yeah. But of those options, I think that he's at least middle of the pack. Maybe Sidon, like, has a fan base.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah. But I'll say 50.
That's interesting, and the advantage that you guys have is the history of, and who's been introduced in the game and what the time frame is. As someone who doesn't know these things, I don't know if it's an advantage or not. I can't see Raru coming in without Sonya, and I don't see Raru and Sonya coming in here, right? Like, not now. I mean, if we're if the question is for season 6, I have to say there's no way. There's not even a 25% chance that Raru's coming. In the future, I can't see a world where he doesn't show up somewhere at some point with Sonya and possibly Minerva, and the whole surrounding story. But I don't see a world that you see King Raru without Queen Sonya, honestly. Just from what I've read here in this short, she may even be more probable than him. Like, would be the reason that he would even be in. It would be pulled in from her. She sounds pretty interesting as far as a fighter, and I would be super interested in hopping on Queen Sonya in a brawl. I'm sure Raru would be amazing as well. But if we're talking about probabilities of him coming into the game now, no way. There's got to be. I mean, I would say that let's see when Imprisonment comes out. Is there a date on that at all? And is there even speculation?
It would maybe this year. Let me see if I can find. They just said winter 2025 is all we know for sure.
Okay, so yeah, I next season, I would give it a much higher chance than this season, just because of the buildup that you have to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is hard to say when the game has not released yet, so we don't know how they'll fight it all. Like, is he maybe he won't be playable. Personally, I feel like he will be, but we don't know, and we don't know how he'll fight. If he fights just like Link would, then I will just shoot his chances down to 2%. But hard to say.
Maybe a baby version of himself.
Jonno, no.
Realistically, it's just going to be Link with a arm, and there's your.
Right. Honestly, could easily be. That could be our Tears of the Kingdom. Right? Just Link gets another moveset refresh to just make it be Tears of the Kingdom instead of Breath of the Wild version,
and not a horrible one.
All interesting character, super interesting character, and just really aesthetically very, very pleasing.
Yeah. What would you put though for your number? Like, what percentage odds did you give him?
I struggle to do 30. I struggle to do 30 because I really don't think they have a 25%. If they hit 25%, like, oh man, it would have to be a campaign. It would have to be a campaign because there's no way that you're going to get a player that you haven't played with yet, who has not been a playable character in not their main game. Right? Like, is that happening? Are we playing characters that were just NPCs in other games?
Sheik,
is that an option?
Zelda.
Straight NPC?
Sheik.
Yeah.
Sheik was an NPC in Ocarina, but she was added to Melee.
Well, then, then the precedent is set. You can do it. I think he's too big of a character to do it, but I'll say 30 just because there is a precedent.
Okay.
Yeah.
That will average out between us as 48.66%.
Jeez, that's decent. That's still decent,
yeah.
I would I'd put a $5 bet on.
I mean, we do have an ongoing bet right now on this show. On with the next Smash game, we'll have how many indie characters will be in the next Smash game. We have a bet between I think 4 of us are on this. Just like, yeah, me and Jonno seems like, fuck no, it's 2 at absolute most. Some other people know as soon as like, oh yeah, I think it'll be like 4 indie characters that I play on the next Smash game. It's like, you're fucking insane. That's not happening.
Typically in a season, how many new fighters come in?
It varies game to game. The original Smash Bros. Added 12. Melee, I believe, added 13. Brawl,
okay.
I'd have to check the numbers. But then Smash Ultimate only added in 11 characters pre-DLC. And a good chunk of those were Echo Fighters. DLC added in a further 11.
See that?
On where I count periodically. I don't remember what slot I had him in, but
that's interesting. That means that there's a lot of characters that are coming in.
Oh yeah. Although usually it's not multiple for the same franchise, unless it's like maybe 2 at most.
And that's
Melee then had like Ganondorf, Zelda, and Sheik, but that's and Young Link, but that was Melee. Melee, it's hard to judge things off of that game.
4 games ago, yeah.
Yeah. 4 games ago, and there was also just the second game where they were building up the rosters. Like, okay, here are the characters that we need.
Right.
All right. Our next character, I think you could say this character has a 47% chance just off the bat. Because from Hitman, it's Agent 47. Hitman games are coming to Switch too, which means we're allowed to talk about this. Now, the 47% thing is an obvious joke, right? Come on, I don't believe it's a 47% chance. I don't know if I believe it's a 2% chance, but
I think there's a 57% chance.
Oh, damn. Agent 47, the Hitman, he's apparently a clone made out of the DNA of 5 different dudes. It is genetically enhanced on top of that, and he is the ultimate hitman, with a variety to his arsenal. Largely guns, but he also just has coins and like cans of drink and whatever the fuck else. He's a master of disguise. He's the stealthiest character around. But as far as like him being playable in Smash, like, listen, let's look at how guns have been portrayed in Smash. Let's look at gun characters. Captain Falcon has a pistol strapped to his leg, and he never uses it. Snake, known for guns, only uses explosives in Smash. Bayonetta has guns attached to her feet, which she uses, but apparently they're like magic guns, I think, or something, so that gets around the normal bullet thing. Joker from Persona. The joke is, for Santa, especially he uses a gun, right? Except it's a toy gun, it's a replica. But because of Persona shit, his opponents thinks it's shooting real bullets. So in the metaverse, it does. It's a thing. Smash doesn't have real guns, real normal guns in it. So that means you think Agent 47 is out, right? Well,
Would
What
you?
if he uses the rubber duck?
like I said, he has other tools at his disposal. If they wanted to make him into a fighter without the guns, they absolutely could.
Oh, for sure.
It's very possible. He's got melee weapons. He's got syringes. Again,
Yeah.
he can toss a can at a person, hit him in the head, and knock him the fuck out. There are things you could do with this guy.
He can throw some coins on the ground and distract you, and then come up behind you with a piano wire like nothing happened. Boom, you're done.
Yep.
Wait, were those nickels or pennies? I don't know. Didn't matter.
Like I abhor the idea of playing stealth games because I suck at stealth games. But if I was going to play any, I would give Hitman a shot because those games just look fun.
You never played Hitman?
Nah.
I played a lot of Hitman, the original, when it first came out. I was huge into Splinter Cell and those fighters.
Yeah.
Agent 47, honestly, geez, man, I think that's a pretty good pick. And I really love the idea of somebody who's so, double ballers oriented, but he has so much in the ways of explosives and covert ops. I mean, like you said, the explosive rubber duckies. Come on. That's built for Smash. It's built for Smash. I mean, I could see him coming in with the briefcase. He's got a sniper rifle in the briefcase, and he just hits you with the whole briefcase, right? And then, like he's got so many tools at his arsenal. So many tools, and stealth as well.
Yeah,
incredibly agile. So
he would be a very interesting character. Like realistically, I think his odds are absolutely terrible.
Oh, for sure.
I just don't see him being added into Smash in a realistic setting. But I think if they really challenge themselves, I think they can make an interesting moveset out of him with no guns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, and then use the guns as a secondary, or a power move, more powerful time, take more time type of thing.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you just can't go in there with a machine gun and start.
No.
Who's publishing? Oh, IO Interactive develops and publishes it now. Okay.
Yeah, I know Square was part of the last few, but Square has done some weird things with dropping some IP in the last recent years, so I don't know if they currently have Hitman or not.
They don't. Yeah, it's just the developer became the publisher.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like Square gave up Tomb Raider. It's like okay.
Yeah. Well, they sold Crystal Dynamics that had Tomb Raider.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it would certainly be a really fun character, really off the wall. I could see a world in which it happens. I just don't know if that's the world we live in.
Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily for now. Again, but this is I would give I don't think I could give him a 10% chance.
Nah, same no. I was thinking somewhere around 4.
Yeah. I was thinking 5 would be very generous.
Yeah.
if I could get there, just because it's 47. I mean, I would give it 7%.
Hey, that's legal.
Yeah, I mean, I think because he is a real, the great thing about 47 is he's not Raru in terms of movement. If we're actually bringing him in, he ain't, he can get there, but it's going to be more of a stealthy type of thing, maybe a turn or just a quick step. But there's not going to be any jumping levels with him. He's going to struggle with moving around the field or the he's going to struggle moving around the board.
Not an aerial fighter.
Not at all. Not even close. Yeah. And then he's got that big bald head. I think he can do some disguises, but I don't think he's known for disguises.
Smash-wise, disguises won't really do anything for him. Like, you can do it like a taunt animation or the victory animation at the end of a match, but beyond that, in terms of an actual match concerned, what's he gonna do? Throw a baker's hat at somebody? That's all this
Yeah.
guy's gonna do him.
Or like put on a like some kind of a mascot suit and all of a sudden turn into, you know, like Mario in the squirrel outfit kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he could even wear the squirrel outfit. I don't know.
I think they could, like,
He most
what
certainly could.
I would do with his disguises if I was in charge. I was like, okay, we have the default suit. That's 1847, his default outfit.
Yeah.
But then all of his alts are one of his disguises, including, gotta have it, the Santa Claus outfit.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And the rubber ducky.
Yeah.
I think he'd be great. He needs to get in a rubber ducky, and then you hit him, he explodes, but he's safe because he's inside the suit, but you're damaged.
Yes.
Can't hit him while he's rubber ducky.
So
Yeah,
he's like
I
a
mean-
master of disguise. Turtle.
Turtle. Wordle. Yeah, I give him a 7 at best, and we'll see him in in the next 10 years. We'll talk about it next year. I'm pretty much guaranteeing you that possibility will double by next year.
Interesting.
There you go. Hitman's going to be in Mario Kart World as DLC.
Look for that in March 2030.
There you go. I'll give him a 4.
4. Oh wait, you gave him a 4. I gave him a 7.
We have a 4-4 and a
Hell
7.
yeah.
4 Agent 447.
And that averages out to a 5% chance.
Nice round number.
Seems
That's about
fair to
right.
him. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
All right.
Look at that. The power of teamwork and collaboration.
Mhm. Next up, we have a character from a third-party franchise that does already have a couple characters in Smash. So precedent's already set, but will they add from Street Fighter 6 and technically 5, Luke? Luke was first added to Street Fighter 5 as the final DLC character, and it was more or less a teaser of Street Fighter 6, which was in development at the time. And then Street Fighter 6 comes around, Luke is the main character of the game's story. Not Ryu, Luke. Luke is, I had it pulled up here, Luke is an American gym coach who fights with a military mixed martial arts style. I don't really know too much of him personality-wise, but he seems like he's capable enough from the moves that I watched of him. The other playable characters, like the other main characters, are basically like him and Jamie. I think is the other like main character for the game's story. But yeah, Luke's the new guy. He's next generation, which is ironic when we have Street Fighter 3, the next generation, and very few of its characters are in this game that we're pushing the timeline for. But whatever, Capcom, I'm not in charge of you. But yeah, Luke's the new guy right now. Street Fighter has Ryu and Ken, old guard characters. In Smash, Ken being an echo fighter of Ryu himself. Ryu added as DLC in Smash 4. Ken base came to Ultimate. And it's, hey, do we think Luke... What question is, 1, will Luke be the next Street Fighter character chosen to represent Smash? And 2, would he then be added in the next Smash game? And that's a hard question for me to answer, because on the one hand, yeah, he is the new main protagonist, but also Street Fighter 5 had the main protagonist be Rashid. And now he's already being relegated to a minor role for Luke. And so Street Fighter 7 going to roll around. We have another new protagonist besides Luke, and then he's going to be thrown away? Don't know. On top of that, I don't know... John, I know you played some Street Fighter 6. I don't know how popular he is, 1, as a playable character, 2, just as a character. And you have the competition of like the old playable, like popular characters, Chun-Li, M. Bison, Guile. I don't know about Luke's chances. Just, does he stack up? I have no idea.
First I'll say that I have an unfair. Hold on, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That was weird.
Yeah.
My Discord.
Unfortunately.
Okay. I have an unfair bias against Luke because I hate his design. He looks like one of the Paul brothers. He looks atrocious.
I mean,
He
I was going
does.
to call him a douche bro. Yeah, he
does.
does. He kind of looks like a college frat bro who, like, 10 years later, still hangs out at the frat.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much.
His yeah, and his style is pretty accessible. Like he's an easy main character to play as. Like I get why they like and that style of fighting, the look that he has, it's all very modern. Like they were trying to attract a Western audience, so that I get
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's too heavy-handed for me. It's like cringe.
I
But
will say,
and
design-wise,
yeah,
at least he looks better in Street Fighter 6 than he did in 5. Because in 5, oh my god, he looks like an absolute piece of shit in 5.
yeah, that's also true. I wish that Rashid still had the baton because I like Rashid a lot. He's really cool.
Rashid's fucking
Um,
cool, man.
yeah, and Jamie is a more interesting character in the league too. But anyway, I think he's not the most. He's like mid tier on popularity. People played as him a lot more in the beginning because he's the first character that you train as. And then that he kind of fell off for again a lot of the old guard. Guile, Ryu, Chun Li, like these characters are still the most popular characters you can play as in Street Fighter 6. And then also some of the DLC has
They brought back M.
like
Bison.
like M. Bison's
After
return,
killing
Kerrigan
him.
Mai. Yeah. So it goes, just like Heihachi and Tekken 8.
Bring back Birdie.
Yeah. Yes, there you go. There you go. And then but then and then it seems like Marissa and Manon and JP, like they're all more interesting than Luke. And a few of them more popular. He's mid-pack. Like I think he's still someone Capcom's trying to shop. And at the same time I wonder like why do Luke as the flavor of the month like new white guy character when you have the most iconic female fighting game character in that same franchise? You could just throw Chun-Li in there. You know?
Yeah. And I mean,
Mhm.
for the Fatal Fury crossover, we're getting Terry and Mai were added to Street Fighter 6. And then
Right.
Ken and Chun-Li, not Ryu, Ken and Chun-Li are being added to the new Fatal Fury game.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was surprised to find out that apparently it's because, like, in some other crossover game that they've done, Ken had a rivalry with one of the Fatal Fury characters, so that's why they're bringing in Ken instead of Ryu. And why bring in both Ken and Ryu when they fight the same High Smash Brothers when you could do Ken and Chun-Li?
Exactly.
Yeah,
For sure.
well, I think it kind of speaks to the like there's not Luke and Chun-Li.
Yeah.
It's not Luke and Chun-Li.
I mean, for the Fatal
yeah.
Fury characters pick their legacy ones instead of going with the new guard characters as well, so.
Mm-hmm. I could see Luke, but I don't know. I feel like he's kind of missed his time personally.
If he gets added in, it's purely because they're trying to push Street Fighter 6 sales.
Mm-hmm.
Which would not be the first time characters have been added to Smash for that, especially third party and especially DLC.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I think the factors against him are just mostly external. Like again, it's why pick him over Chun-Li. It's then the next conversation is for a new Capcom representative. Are we really going to dip into Street Fighter again? And then it becomes for a new fighting game representative. Are we really going to dip into Street Fighter again? It's like
even
you
for
could.
Capcom fighting representative, did we dip into Street Fighter again?
Right.
Or do we go to Power Stone?
Right.
We'll go to
They
Street Fighter.
easily could. Exactly, because Street Fighter is what's relevant. Like even amongst all the other fighting games, like it's what's most relevant.
Yeah.
So there's a likelihood. I wouldn't go over 20% for him though.
That's way higher than I would go.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. What would you say?
3.
Really? Okay.
I was in the 3 to 7% range because there's so many Street Fighter characters. Like, yeah, sure, he is the new guy, but Smash, we know that Smash is not currently being made because Sakurai is working on Kirby Air Riders. If Smash was currently being made, then I think I'll be like a little bit higher up on Luke because we know he is the recent guy. But by the time the next Smash comes around, who knows where Street Fighter is going to be as a franchise? All we know is it's not being worked on right now.
I almost guarantee you Street Fighter 7 will be announced by the time Smash is announced.
Well, now I'm curious about something. I want to see when Street Fighter 5 released. I want to see when its last wave of DLC was. Standard Edition released February 2016. The last DLC was winter 2021. So 5 years of DLC. Granted, actually, to be fair, that DLC wave only came in. That DLC was basically a bonus. It was not meant to happen. It only released because they needed more time for Street Fighter 6. There were internal delays. It was like, okay, let's tide things over with this. The last character of Season 4's DLC was Seth in February 2020. So let's assume 4 years of DLC. Street Fighter 6 released in 2023. So we're looking at 2027. If it were on the same basic schedule, is how long Street Fighter 6 is going to go.
Well, video games in general are adopting a much faster pace end seasons. Capcom's is crazy, and especially the Street Fighter. I just saying those what you were just saying about that. I couldn't believe that 5 years or more for that's ridiculous. Like what other
season passes? Got to sell a bunch of characters.
I mean, but even Call of Duty doesn't. Jesus, 5 years.
5 years. And they were adding 4 characters in every wave. It was 4 or 5 characters in every wave of DLC. So that was substantial. Street Fighter 6, I think is currently on its. Let me see here. Street Fighter 6 is currently on its second wave of DLC. The first one released from July 2023 to May 2024, being Rashid, Aki, Ed, and Akuma. Year 2, last June to this coming June, M. Bison, Terry, Mai, and recently announced Elena.
If this was last June, I would give him a much higher probability of getting in the game.
Yeah.
He's basically ran like this guy is Guile 2.0-ish, but not as
their attempt at it, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and even his backstory, it's like he was a kid. He saw his dad do anti-terrorist stuff at the mall. There was an attack, and then fast forward, Guile encouraged him, and that's all they have to say is Guile encouraged him. So because as soon as I heard another military, I'm like, no, you can't have another like American military fighter. What are you talking about? Like Guile is the guy. Guy's the Guile. I've been fighting Blanca with Guile since the 80s, man. Come on. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
Like you're gonna bring in another.
It reminds me of Street Fighter. No, so not Street Fighter. Soul Calibur 5, where they tried to do a soft, not when they were like not soft rebooting the story, but soft rebooting the roster. It was like, okay, instead of Sophitia and Cassandra, we have Patroclus and Pyrrha. Instead of Taki, we have Natsu. Instead of Xianghua, we have Yanlei Xiao, or however you say that. I'm sure I said it wrong. Killick is replaced by Kiba. But they all fight
that was
nearly the same. Yeah, so there's a reason Street Fighter 6 rebooted the story, went back to the classic roster. 5 was not received well.
Yeah. I'm going to have to give Luke Paul a 5. I'm gonna have to give Gil. I mean,
I'll
a 5. I'm gonna go with the 5. I just can't see it, and obviously we don't do 0s or 99s, and just because nothing's impossible. Looking at this, he would be a good fit. He'd be a great fit. I think he'd be a great. This might be, honestly, a move like that might be what a character like that needs. Honestly, he needs to jump games. Like now, and get a whole new rep. Get away from whatever this story is with, like get a whole new rep, man. Because the new model's decent. He's not Luke Paul. He's Luke Sullivan now, but he's never going to outlive that in Street Fighter at this point. So
we had Street Fighter Cross Tekken. We are still technically owed Tekken Cross Street Fighter. Put Luke in that game.
There you go. Yeah, I'll adjust down.
There you go.
After further discussion, I'll adjust down to. I'm still going to own that. Originally it's like, this high number. I'll say 10 now.
Yeah, and it's all just timing. It's all just timing.
Yeah.
You can't.
True.
You can't do it now.
Yeah, and Lister made a great point too with the focus of the character changing each game. Like
Yep.
3 had Alex, had Jury, 5 had Rashid, 6 had Luke. We are moving on to something else soon.
Yeah, we have
Speaking of 4 and Jury, I just
You're
go
muted,
tangent here.
Lister.
Motherfucker. Speaking of Street Fighter 4 and Jury, since you've mentioned that, I have to go on a bit of a side right here. Hey, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 developers, why the fuck did you pick Steve Viper to be the Street Fighter 4 rep in the game and not Jury? What drugs were you on? Alright, I'm done. That's just something that's always been bothering me. It's like, why? Jury would have been a better pick. Ah.
It's the same drugs that eventually had them develop MVC Infinite.
Different director, actually.
Okay, publish then. There you go.
Yeah, that game had its fucking issues. Oh my god. Next up, from Shin Megami Tensei.
Oh,
Raido Kuzunoha the 14th. Raido is protagonist of the Devil Summoner of some of the Devil Summoner games that are coming to Switch too. While we don't have anything from Shin Megami Tensei technically in Smash, we do have Joker from the Persona series, which is a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei. So, there's a bit of an inroad already built there. Raido is a detective, and much like other Shin Megami Tensei games, your gameplay basically revolves around the summoning of demons and having them fight for you. So you got your Jack Frost, you got your Pixie, you got your Mara, I guess.
oh my god.
I was trying to think of one, and I was like, the first... I could picture other ones, but it was the first name that came to mind. I was like, shit, I have to finish the sentence somewhere. I don't know for sure like which ones are in his game specifically, but he also makes an appearance, a playable appearance, in some versions of Shin Megami Tensei 3, which is, unless 5 has overtaken it in popularity, at least before 5 was the most popular Shin Megami Tensei game, and people were always saying, oh, add Demi-Fiend into Smash playable character from that game. Shin Megami Tensei 3 has basically 2 different versions where either you'll find Raido as a character, or you'll find Dante from Devil May Cry for some fucking reason. Yeah, that's where that meme comes from, Jonno. It comes from Shin Megami Tensei. Now, I don't know where the Knuckles meme comes from, but that's where the Dante one is in.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Like, he has his own skills that he can do. He's got a sword. He's got a gun. But primarily gameplay for Shin Megami Tensei just in general revolves around summoning things. And it looks like in Shin Megami Tensei 3 itself, as a boss fight, he will specifically summon either Yoshitsune, Mo Shufu, Mokoi, Mishaguji, Hidokoto Nushi, and Tsuchigumo. And yes, those are words. I'm aware. I'm aware. And then as an ally, he can do all those same ones and other attacks as well. Almighty element damage, which is basically I bypass all your resistances, fuck you damage, which is always fun. He has an attack called Boogie Woogie. I just want to mention this. He has an attack called Boogie Woogie. It's described as being 4 hits for small physical damage to 1 foe. Yep, that exists.
4 hits, small physical damage to 1 foe.
Yes. I don't know if he's the most popular or the best choice from Shin Megami Tensei in general, but coming to Switch too. So that's the topical one.
Interesting. Does Yoshimitsu have much of his moveset from Tekken?
Yoshitsune, actually.
Oh, Yoshitsune.
Yeah, and Yoshitsune, it's basically like a samurai demon. Also a persona in the Persona games. And at least in Persona, like in the modern Persona games, has a very OP skill that hits all opponents like 8 times. It says it calls it like weak physical damage, but it also crits always. So it's good. It's very good.
Oh, these guys are like named after actual historical figures. Okay,
a lot of them are, yeah. A lot of the
Yeah.
demons in Shin Megami Tensei and Persona are named after like different mythological creatures or just historical figures.
Mhm.
Gabriel, Michael, Lucifer are all personas and demons.
Yeah. Yeah. So, would the crux of this character be summoning these demons and
Most
using them
likely.
to fight?
Most likely. I mean, he has his own
Okay.
skills, but I think they'll probably save those for normals and such, and maybe can be a summoner. I think any
Mhm.
Shin Megami Tensei character would be a summoner for the most part.
Mhm.
That's
A
interesting.
benefit to this, yeah. A
Like
benefit to this character is that he has a nice hat.
he does.
Yeah.
And if you're seeing the image of him where he's like holding two sticks, those he throws
Mhm.
those to summon the demons.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And that's a real gun, not a dream manifestation of one.
Correct, which means he probably would not use it.
Mm.
Got it. He would be just like Douglas and keep it strapped to his side.
Yes.
There you go. Interesting. And what the hell is it? Raito remastered? Is that what's coming out to the Switch too? I'm like blanking.
I think so. I'm trying to check on that right now.
Okay.
Yes, Raito remastered The Mystery of the Soulless Army.
Okay. Got it.
And they are apparently overhauling a lot of the combat system.
Got it. Yeah, a Shin Megami Tensei character is interesting to me because it's like, what do you do with that? I don't know if any singular SMT character, unlike Persona protagonist, if any singular SMT character is very popular on their own. It seems more like the focus is more like, oh, you're exploring as this character, and the demons take the majority of the, like Jack Frost, of course, and a few others take more of the spotlight. Because when I think of like SMT or SMT adjacent, I'm still like, oh, are we going to get whatever? I'm
Demi-Fiend or
blanking.
Nahobeno.
Yeah, exactly. Are we getting Demi like Persona 3 or 5 or
No.
whatever
Yeah.
recommended? Nahobeno from SMT 6 actually, yeah, that's
5.
a decent. Yeah.
Yeah, like people like pre SMT 5, people talked about Demi-Fiend from 3.
Oh, yeah, 5.
Nobody talked about Flynn from SMT 4. Don't know why. Don't know if he's just not well liked with the games, not well liked. No idea. But then after 5 comes out, people start talking about Nahobeno, who is the main character of that game. And looking at them, yeah, I see it. They got a design going on there. And then Raito is getting a remake, and so he's topical again. And I've seen him be mentioned in things. He's made appearances in games, like again SMT3. Apparently he has. Oh, he's mentioned in the English dub of Persona 4 as like a cameo type deal. And then he's also mentioned in the manga adaptation of Persona 5. So at the very least, people attached to the company still talk about him. They at least like him enough to reference him in material.
Right. He makes multiple appearances throughout the game and media.
Yeah, and he's been in a couple games. The game that's being a remake is actually I'm trying to double check on this. I don't think that was actually his first. No, yeah. The game that's being remade is a remake of his first game, but then there's also one Devil Summoner Soul Hackers that looks like he's in, but I'm not sure to what degree.
I played
but
that
it looks
game,
like he's a
and then
bonus boss.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. I think SMT has a shot. It's just like, what does that shot look like? And
Yeah.
I don't know the series well enough to really say, honestly.
Looks like he's also his main game got a sequel itself where he's playable as well. So he has basically 2 main games to his name.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Because yeah, like Demi-Fiend and Nahobeno can't come to mind as larger options. I think Demi-Fiend might still be the likeliest from SMT. I don't know.
Hard to say.
How are you feeling? Yeah.
Jonno, you make a very compelling argument. Did you rate? What was your rating? Or what did you
Yeah.
We haven't rated yet. We've just been discussing.
Yeah.
I mean, well, because you kind of convinced me to go the opposite way of that I was leaning in the first place. So I'm wondering.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm wondering where exactly you're going to land, because I feel like I'm about as familiar as you are. So, but I've got a little bit of a different take on it.
Well,
because
what was your take?
Well, I think for sure the summoning demons, huge. That's fantastic, right? I mean, that's compelling. That's compelling. Obviously, he's going to have some type of melee, right? He's got to have a melee. Even if he's not going to use the sticks, he's got to have something. He's fighting with his fists or something. He looks like he can kick ass. Honestly, he's going to throw that. He's throwing that for sure.
Have a sword. He does have a sword. I think it's katana or katana adjacent.
Okay, so there you go. So I think for sure combat style, and then the compelling the demons, that just adds to something that I want to see. Honestly, he's established. He's got his games. He's good. He's good to go. I think he's a huge. But this is where Jonno convinced me otherwise. Just because I gotta agree that he's probably not the most popular. Like, looking at their roster, there's other people that I recognize, honestly, and this. I recognize his look when I saw him, but I didn't recognize his name. He has a pretty intense name, but for just recognition from like a very general perspective, I think there's some characters that would possibly be better. But that being said, I think I'm around a 15 for him because of the competition. And I mean, he's sitting where he's at. I think he's in a good position. Like who he is, he's a great pick. But I just don't think it's likely. So I'm going to go with a 15 because while I would love to see him, it's again just like with the last guy, it's just not good timing for him. It could have been better. Maybe it will be in the future, but right now it's a 15 for me, just because there's a lot of challenges with the competition of characters. But I really, 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 really like I think it's a compelling fight. Like, it's a really compelling fight that I'd like to see. But I have to stick with a 15. I just don't think he's the pick.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm feeling the same way. I know that the game is getting remade. It's relevant in the now on the Switch too. But when the time Smash 6 comes around, what are we going to get that's new from SMT? What is there going to be another remake or something coming up? And again, in the grand scope of things, every time I'm thinking about the Smash speculation stuff, it's like, yes, SMT is a legacy franchise. It's been around for decades. Yep. In a way, it's partially odd that its spin-off series got a character in before it with Persona 5, but Persona's just so massively popular now.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I knew Persona.
Yeah.
You mentioned
Persona series is more popular worldwide than Shin Megami Tensei is, and Persona 5 fucking exploded.
Yeah.
So I'm not shocked that they did that one first.
Yeah, and then you just wonder, like, what other Atlas franchises are there, or Sega franchises? Is it like, are we getting Raito as another Sega representative, or if we only get one Sega character, is it going to be another Sonic character or something? It's the constant juggling. It's the constant juggling. So I'm gonna say 8%.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Initially I wanted to go and be like, 20, but I think 20% is where I'm feeling for just like Shin Megami Tensei in general. I think it has a good shot. The problem is, they think Persona is good enough, or close enough to having a Shin Megami Tensei rep. The two series play very differently, but will they say like, we've already got that, we don't need this? And as far as like competition is concerned, like there's the Trauma Center games, there's Catherine, which I don't even know what the fuck you do for Catherine. There's the recently released Metaphor ReFantasio.
Oh yeah,
That's a good competition. Added a character named Will.
Oh.
And then Atlas is owned by Sega, as you mentioned, where there is Sonic, there's Virtua Fighter, there's Yakuza. There's some hard hitters there. I think Shin Megami Tensei stands a good chance, whether it will be Raito, Demi Fiend, Naho Beno,
Mara,
God no,
Jack Frost.
honestly possible. They could. I mean,
Yeah.
Sakurai even said that for Dragon Quest, he considered doing the slime instead of the hero. Jack Frost may be what he decided to do for Shin Megami Tensei. Personally, I think you can do better, but I see it. But He-Ho Brigade. But with a 15, with an 8, I'm going to go ahead and slot mine down to a 10, which brings us to a total of 33 and an average of 11% chances. It still puts him in the overall top 10 of the season so far. Funnily enough. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, with a character from SMT being much higher, if we just someone from the universe, I think it's much higher.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. Well, we're gonna bring it on home with this.
We are bringing it home. We're going across the world with this last character for Rate Their Chance today, and Jonno knows what this is, and is part of the reason why we picked these 5 characters, because it was funny as fuck. I give you the first time playable ever the cow in Mario Kart World.
Yay! Oh my god.
If I had a hat on, I would have thrown it.
Yeah. I thought you were going to walk off. I pulled that bit before.
Me too.
So Mario Kart World, the new Mario Kart game that's coming out, it's going to be it's going to have a package deal with the Switch 2 for some of its units. It's adding in a bunch of new and unusual characters to its playable roster, including the cow from Moo Moo Meadows. That's right.
Yeah.
The cow is racing either in a cart or on a bike. Can it be playable? Our first instinct is to say no fucking way.
Yes.
Right?
Moo.
But the day of the direct, we were discussing the cow, and I'm thinking like, no, there's no way the cow can be playable. How do you make a Mario character? How would you even make a Mario Kart character work in Smash? Shit, I have an idea. This happens to me sometimes. I'll be saying like, nah, this can't happen. I have no idea how to make this work. How would you even start? Oh no, I know how to do it. It's happened a few times. But basically, you just put the character in the cart, and there's just always a racing on the cart. If Bowser Jr. can be in the Koopa Clown Car Jr., why can't the cow or the Koopa Troopa or the Conch Door or the Parabitty Bud just be in a cart? And then they're racing around. They use they throw out green shells, or they drop banana. I almost said shell, and it's like, wait, no, what the fuck? But they drop banana peels. They throw bombs. Their final smash is the blue shell.
Yeah,
but wait a minute,
it's possible.
I mean, he'd have to spill milk instead of drop bananas, right?
Oh god!
Instead of an oil slick technique, it's a milk squirt.
Yeah, there you go. Instead of the oil slick, milk squirt.
There it is.
There you go.
I need to shower now.
He can fill he can fill his own jug of milk and drink it for a taunt.
And his wheels are yogurt containers.
Yeah. There you go.
What's it? Delight.
I should add, when Lister was in town, we saw the cow on the road.
We did
off Oracle.
We did.
Someone here.
I think it was when we were driving to the movie to go see the Minecraft movie. Which, dear God, why would we do that?
How well that's
and there's a guy just to our right on a motorcycle dressed in a cow onesie. I was like, what the fuck?
That looks like that is. I mean,
audio listeners, if you watch the video at this time, you will see John bring up his phone to show the video. You might actually have to go back a minute, but it's there. Trust me.
It's a cow on a motorcycle. Well, man and a cow.
Yeah.
Moo Moo Meadows cow.
Moo
Right.
Moo Meadows cow.
Yeah.
Playable in Smash? Question mark? Would it be a generic Mario Kart character? Maybe like the Koopa Troopa is the base character and the cow is just one of the alts. I'm basically viewing this as a Mario Kart character, just in general, instead of just being specifically the cow.
Oh,
Nintendo definitely, they knew exactly what they were doing with
100%.
that cow. When they put that in the direct and had that very prominent. Gabe, have you seen the visual of the cow in that game? Can I show you?
In Mario Kart? Oh
There
shit!
you go.
I'm gonna send another episode, thing in our chat here.
Yeah. There you go.
There's that image.
Okay, yeah, no, I haven't seen this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also shows another character in that same image, the dolphin.
Yeah, I see.
Riding
Hell
a
yeah.
motorcycle.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah. If a dolphin can ride a motorcycle, a cow can fight
There you go.
Yeah.
and smash.
There you go.
And fight in Smash Bros. I like this character a lot. I think he has, or they, excuse me, have popped on the scene in a relatively an explosive manner.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, but been around for a while. I mean, I've been doing Moo Moo Meadows since like a long time. Honestly, it's been a long time.
Since
30
64.
years almost.
Yeah.
64.
Yeah, since all the way back then. So yeah, I think a general. I'm actually going to rate this pretty high because I think this is highly likely that even if it's not the cow, it is something. Because because Switch is hot. Switch is hot, and Cart is Switch's baby. So I would say that they're going to push some Switch. They can't not. They can't not push something from Cart, right? You just gotta.
It would not surprise me because one, Mario Kart 8 was the seller. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has outsold any Mario Kart game period, and I think it's if it wasn't the number one Switch game, it was like top 3, which is insane.
I have 2 copies that I bought.
There you go.
Actually, I do too. That I think about it, because I lost my physical copy and then I bought it digitally, and then I found my physical copy. It's like, fuck, god damn it! Yep. On top of my Wii U copy, so technically I bought it 3 times. But
so yeah, you got me there. But yeah, I think this is a very highly likely addition. Honestly, this is yummy. Especially talking about other characters that are kind of doing along the same lines. I think that this breathes some fresh air into the franchise, and without having to necessarily invent a new a new character with a whole backstory and everything. It's like, Moo Moo Meadows cow is perfect.
It's better than Pink Gold Peach.
Yeah,
right. Baby Rosalina.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if full disclosure, I ride with Baby Daisy, in Cart. I've been riding with Baby Daisy for a little while now.
I ride with Baby Eric, so I feel you.
Nice.
Yeah. I either do Waluigi, Lemmy Koopa, or Inkling.
Oh well, then you're excited. Then you're so excited, right? Waluigi.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Waluigi's fucking awesome.
He's been on this podcast before. I interviewed him. Oh yeah.
But as for the cow being playable, it's hard to say because on one hand, this is a ridiculous idea. This is absolute crazy drug fueled idea to put the cow Mario Kart version or not into Smash as a fighter. But I got 2 words. And I hate these 2 words when they're used together in terms of Smash, and that's Piranha Plant.
Yep.
Sakurai has already given us the big old wild card once. Combine the fact that he's very willing to do that with Mario Kart's sheer popularity, and the fact that he likes doing things that are completely different, new gimmicks, a fighter that would fight like nothing else. Cow or Mario Kart rep, I could see it being.
Yeah.
I could see him being really interested in doing it. Whether or not it will happen, who knows? Do I want it over Waluigi or Gino? Fuck no. But I would not be surprised if we just get this in Smash.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
that
yeah.
sounds, I
Yeah,
see it
yeah.
happening.
This is okay. A few things. Number one, something from Mario Kart World will 100% be in the next Smash. At least a stage, an item, probably.
It'd be the spirit item.
They're gonna go.
That's how you unlock new costumes.
Yeah. There you go. They're gonna go the whole nine because this game is revolutionizing one of their top tier franchises, one of their best selling family franchises.
Yeah.
It's Mario Kart World because now in the Grand Prix mode you're driving to your next race. Between things
It's an open world.
Yeah. It's an open world Mario Kart game, and wholly and truly. So they're going to capitalize on that as much as possible. Because we're probably going to walk away from the Switch 2, 8 years from now, with Mario Kart World being the best-selling title on the Switch 2.
It's very possible.
Very likely, anyway. Yeah. So it's just to what extent. So it has a legitimate shot. We have the mainstays: Waluigi, Paper Mario, Gino, Pauline. Like there's a lot for Mario. Obviously, they could pull. They might include 2 characters. It's Mario. They might put Waluigi in the card as the main character.
Fuck. No. No. Get out.
And yet you can feel it. You can.
Yeah.
And and another thing. Sakura. I guarantee you, Sakurai loves the cow. That's just like his MO. That is his MO.
Like we took a couple days before we watched the direct because we were wanting to watch it in person together. I got spoiled on a couple things. The first thing I got spoiled on was Cow being added to Mario Kart World. I'm just like, what? The internet apparently was going nuts. Like, they didn't announce any of the new characters in the original Switch 2 Direct. They only announced them in the dedicated Mario Kart World Direct a couple weeks later. But the internet, internet does its internet things and it sleuths. And the cow was shown fairly prominently, and people were just like, what is that? Is that a cow playable in Mario Kart?
Yeah.
And the internet lost their fucking minds. This game has over 50. This game has 50 confirmed characters already, which is more than what Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had by its end. And the only new characters are these random enemies so far. We don't even have like all of the veterans confirmed that they're going to be back or not. The only thing we know for sure is Kamek is coming back because they turned Kamek into an item after finally being made playable in Tour in 8 Deluxe. Like, god damn it. You let Kamek out of jail and you threw her back in. God damn it. I'm mad.
Well, maybe Kamek can be one of the racers on the cart with the cow.
Kamek is just their unplayable slut. Personally, I think if we do get like a kart race or a kart character, I think it's going to be a Bowser Jr. type situation where it's just like a different character in every costume.
Oh, agreed.
And I think they're going to pull just from like the non-characters, so like the Koopa Troopa, the cow, the Parabid Bud. I think that's the way you go about it. Who will be the default face? I don't know. Personally, I would guess it's the Koopa Troopa because that was the first generic enemy added into Mario Kart with the original game. That's what I would personally choose. But
Koopa Links have been in there since the beginning.
No, not Koopa Links. The Koopa Troopa, like the generic, the generic green Koopa.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
Koopa
playable in
Super
Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah. So when did the Koopa Troopa enter the arena, the Smash Bros?
Koopa Troopa is not playable in Smash.
It's not?
No. The only generic enemy across any franchise, not counting Pokemon, that would be playable in Smash is the Parada plant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Koopa Lings, though, the Koopa Kids you're mentioning, they are playable in Smash.
Yeah. Lemmy, Ludwig, they're playable in Smash under Bowser Jr.'s moveset. And then they're all individual racers starting in Mario Kart 8, but not confirmed for World.
Yeah. So you know
Ugh.
how Hero, Dragon Quest Hero, they did Luminary instead of like Erdrick for the main slot.
Yeah,
Could go with recency and popularity, and then Cow is the main guy.
could very well do it.
Yeah.
I see Cow, I see Koopa Troopa, I see Spike, Rocky Wrench.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think Conqueror
You-
or Poke would do it because I think that just changed the hitbox too much.
Next thing you know, you have Cataquack playable in Smash before Waluigi.
Ooh, what? No.
You gotta. This is a good time to mention though. Like Mario Kart's a big thing. I'm gonna go high. I'm gonna say 60%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
60%.
High rolling. Oh,
That's a
hey,
lot.
Truman.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What's the precedent for that? So, how many like how many people from one universe can we add at one time? Like, what's the max amount? Can we add 3 from
Yeah,
Mario Kart at one time? Is that
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
would
think
say
Mario
there's
Kart
there's
would
not
get more
really-
than one playable character, but we have had Smash franchises like really no. Like Ultimate add like the 2 Belmonts, both from Castlevania, but I think typically 2 or 3 has been the most. Melee adding in 4s, but that was all again Melee 4 Zelda characters. But two I think is generally speaking the most that you'll get from a franchise added into Smash at a time.
Yeah. So I would say it's safe to say that Mario and then like Pokemon could get up to 2 new characters.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to get a little bit of brain fog because I've been playing kart for so long I forget that's a lot. That's not many of their main game, first game. Koopa Trip. This is obviously there's the second game just from Mario Brothers. Like, so thinking with that in mind, like what universe from their perspective, they don't see as they're pulling from kart, right? They would see it as
it'll be considered like a Mario rep.
Yeah, right. So then the real question is how many Mario characters can we bring in at once?
Yep.
And I think two is a magic number. Because
two is traditionally what we'll get with Mario. Smash 4 had Mario and Luigi. Melee had Peach and Bowser, and Dr. Mario. Brawl didn't add any and removed Dr. Mario. Smash 4 added in Rosalina and Bowser Jr., and then Smash Ultimate only added in the Piranha Plant.
See, so the Piranha Plant's the
Yoshi, Wario, they got added in under their own franchises. 64 in Brawl.
Yeah, I think it's a high chance then, honestly, that we're going to get a non-main character, likes of the Piranha Plant, likes of the the what are they called? The Koopalings.
Bowser
Like-
Jr. and the Koopalings.
Yeah. Something where it's like, okay, let's flip it up. Let's bring in something, I completely agree with what you said, Zantok, where it's like the cow and adjacent, they're going to be in. I'm giving it 50-50. And I think that's low. I agree with Jonathan 60. I just have to err on the side of, I don't know that this is ever there's no real precedent for the cow, Moo cow.
Yeah.
Plural. These, I mean,
this is unprecedented territory.
My head around the cow in the cart,
Right.
coming over, but I am very, very interested in it. I think he could be really fucking amazing.
Yeah.
In a real weird way, I think he could be just exactly what we need. So I'm going to go 50-50 on it and just kind of let it roll, let it ride.
All right. As for me, I'm looking at, we have a very unique fighter. Nothing else fights like this would. We have a complete fucking Sakurai wildcard situation is what would happen with here.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 2 big pluses. The negative is, as you were mentioning, Gabe, how many Mario characters are we going to get added into the next Smash Bros. Game? And is the cow, or just the Mario Kart representative in general, do they stack up against the other options? The other likely options are basically Toad, Waluigi, Gino, Wart, Pauline, whether or not you count her as a Mario character or as a Donkey Kong character. They could flip flop that either or. Hard to really say it. Personally, I would put on a Donkey Kong myself. And then I'll just say at the same time is, do you also balance in, well, Yoshi characters, Wario characters? Would we add one of them? And if we add in a Wario character and a Yoshi character, would we then get a Mario character? A lot of perspectives on that. The actual characters that I specifically called out, Gino and Waluigi are both kind of extremely hard to judge in their own right, because Waluigi has seen zero respect, let's be real, and is a spin-off character always. Gino is partly owned by Square Enix, or really mostly owned by Square Enix, but Sakurai at least has acknowledged the character and has said that they are a fan of them. But will he add them in? Are they a real legitimate shot? Hard to say. Toad. Toad was one of the characters that was most requested in the original Smash 64 poll leading up to Melee, but he has not gotten in even all since then. What about Captain Toad? Would they go that route? There are a lot of options, and it's really hard to judge. So here's what I'm going to do with my rating: is I'm going to technically break convention here. Instead of giving my personal rating, I'm going to give the rating that will make us equal out to 50%, because this is uncharted territory, and I think 50% Schrodinger's cow possibility chances, I think is absolutely fair direction to go here. So since we have a 50 and we have a 60, I'm going to say 40% so that we average to 50% chance, because it is just impossible to truly and accurately judge this.
Yeah. And it's really just because we can't. It's just we're trying to hit a bullseye, right? It's you know characters are coming, right? Especially if we're. Well, I mean, I thought they confirmed that nobody's getting dropped from the lineup, right?
We don't know.
I thought I read nobody.
If that's been announced, I have not seen it, and I'm not seeing anything on the Mario wiki mentioning it. All that is said is that so far the game is going to have 50 racers, including 30 returning from past installments and 20 new playable racers, of which all of the 20 new racers are
20
creatures. Goomba, Piranha Plant, Pianta, Spike, Dolphin, Cow, Pokey, Parabitty Penguin, Sidestepper, Snowman, Cataquack, Fishbone, Peepa, Swoop, Stingby, Rocky Wrench, Coin Coffer, Cheep Cheep, and Cunctor. We don't know about any other new characters being added, or a lot of returning or a lot of veteran characters have not been announced to be returning or not. We only know a selection. It's very up in the air. We do not know. I mean, and technically, we do know that at least one is being dropped from Tour and Mark Artie Deluxe, Kamek, because they were turned into an item.
Oh wow! Oh, and 20.
Yeah, 20 new characters have been announced thus far, and it's just those generic enemies and creatures.
Wow. That makes me feel. Oh, that makes me feel some like maybe this would have been in that realm. Possibly, it's like Moo Cows doesn't necessarily have a game coming, or any main. I mean, I don't know.
They're a Mario Kart character. They first appeared in Mario Kart 64.
Yeah, and they're getting press. Honestly, when you're thinking about it, like even you just mentioning Toad, I'm like, there's no way Toad. When Moo Cows are getting this much press. And Toad's not getting any press. Nobody's talking about Toad. Like, Toad's not doing anything revolutionary right now. I doubt they're going to regurgitate to that level. If anything, I mean, I don't know. I could see a mobile game with this cows. I could see a lot of future with these cows. Honestly, I could see a lot of future with these cows. And 50, I think 50-50, nail on the head. That's just about perfect.
Yeah.
Because there's just no way to tell.
There isn't.
Get that cow starting its own game.
I think the most compelling part is you just can't dismiss it. That's the thing, is you can't dismiss it. Like,
if it hadn't been for Piranha Plant, I would absolutely be dismissing this.
Yeah,
but the fact that we live in a world where Piranha Plant was added to Smash Ultimate, and Sakurai has very clearly demonstrated that he wants unique characters. I can't. It's like with Sora and the X on his goddamn shirt in Dream Drop Distance. I can't dismiss this possibility.
Yeah, I actually like it. I actually like it. I think this,
me too.
I think this is genius. Honestly, this is genius.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Well, that locks it in. We've done our 5. 3 of them have made it to our current top 10 of the season, which our top 10 is looking. There's a lot of low numbers that we've done this season compared to previous seasons. I feel like our number 10 is Rido at 11% currently.
Wow.
And we only have 3 more Smash Bros. Episodes to go this season before the Tournament of Champions episode. Yep. So there's not a lot of room left. And I don't know how many of those characters will score highly. Although, actually, I remember you said Paper Mario at the start of the episode, and I said, like, oh yeah, I think we already talked about him. Actually, we haven't. I just checked that. It's like, oh no, we haven't even talked about him. So maybe he'll be later this season, or we might do him next season. We'll see. But it's tough.
Well, I feel good about that, guys. Thanks for the episode. We've reached our high point. I'm gonna walk off.
I think this is the longest we've ever covered Rate Their Chances in a single episode. We went a while. But we still have our main topic of discussion, the Smash or Dash. We have 4 characters from Blizzard's, I would call them their 4 pillars of their games. Like their most popular franchises. We've got a character from each of them. And Gabe, I might have to lean on you to really talk about most of these characters. To give us our intro about all of them, because like I could give like a basic intro to a few of them. I think you know them best, and I'm going to start off.
Pretty familiar.
I'm going to start off with from StarCraft, Sarah Kerrigan.
Sarah Kerrigan, I love Kerrigan.
Oh, from the
I love Kerrigan. Kerrigan, Queen of Blades. So she was obviously, StarCraft character. What were the soldiers called? I can't remember the name of the soldiers, but no, that's where she got. So she was a regular person first.
Oh, that's what you mean. That's what you mean.
Yeah, she was just a regular soldier. Got whatever she got, and then bam, and then she got turned, and she kicks ass. No bra, no nipples. Like she is rocking it hardcore. But and I played StarCraft. Definitely played StarCraft 2. We even went to some tournaments. A huge fan of the series. And but where Kerrigan really shined was in Heroes of the Storm. That really showed you what Kerrigan was capable of, and she was just unstoppable. She was absolutely fantastic. The blade. If you don't know Kerrigan, she's got these wings, and there's blades on the end of the wings, and she just kind of slaps you with it. She has, she's definitely the one of the premier, if not the premier. I mean, depending on what your fandom is in that universe. But if you're into the Zerg, you're into Kerrigan. Like, there's just no 2 ways about it.
She's definitely like the character that I think if you just pick a general person on the street and say like, hey, name a StarCraft character, they're either going to say Kerrigan or they're going to say the Zergs. Because that's the general populist knowledge is.
Definitely.
That's why we picked her for this episode and not whoever the fuck the other characters are. Because I don't know them. I just know she's the one people know.
Right.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I forget. I always forget names. I'm terrible with names. But there's a guy with the skull. The astronaut skull comes down, and then the dude with the cowboy hat, and then you guys don't know Abathur. I was talking about with Zantok. I was talking about Abathur with you, right? Or Eric, my favorite, far and away. Abathur. I'm just going to give an honorable mention. If you don't know Abathur, fine. I mean, Jesus, Abathur is just the best. He's the slimy worm thing that gets in your brain and makes you awesome. But he's fighting for Kerrigan. She's the leader. Right. He's the ruler.
The second character in our Blizzard-centric Smash Battle Royale from World of Warcraft and from Warcraft, I believe, as well. Illidan Stormrage.
Oh yeah, Warcraft 3 for sure. Illidan, and who doesn't know Illidan? You are not prepared. The great betrayer, twin brother of Malfurion Stormrage. These guys were druids, big time, huge magic users, and Illidan got, he got addicted to the magic too. Who didn't? Nobody tasted that.
It tastes like candy. I mean, come on.
Candy, man. But honestly, Illidan Stormrage is a huge, absolutely pivotal part of the Blizzard universe. He's still extremely active. He kills gods. He's a god killer. And he's on his way right now. He's actually got our main antagonist. He's holding him in prison right now, as we speak, he's got a good decade left. Maybe not that long, but right now, Illidan Stormrage is holding a Titan in prison. Could not have picked a better Warcraft representative.
And I will say, part of the reason why we chose Illidan for this episode was because everybody knows, okay, World of Warcraft, there's Alliance, Horde. Everybody's, for the most part, everybody is divided across these lines. Illidan, from my understanding, is in his own category. He's not Alliance, he's not Horde. His people are typically Alliance coded. But I think if anything, he himself might be more Horde. I'm not entirely sure. But I know like the class that is associated with him, the Blood Hunters, I think that was what it was called? Demon Hunters.
Yeah, Demon Hunters. And they
the elf race from both sides can both be Demon Hunters. So he's like a neutral party that I can tell.
Very neutral party, absolutely. Both sides hate him equally, and he hates both sides much more. There's no way he would never associate with he's called the betrayer. That's what the Alliance calls him, is betrayer. They put him in prison, and the only reason he's out is because he's holding a prison now, so he doesn't fuck with the Alliance don't fuck with him, and I don't think the Horde wants any part of Illidan Stormrage, honestly.
They're scared of him. They'll kick their asses.
We're all scared of him, honestly.
Illidan.
He's the only one who's got an actual race of class. Like, he has a class of hymns.
Yeah.
They're all just hymns.
Yeah. And if we didn't choose him, it would have been the debate was like, okay, do I go Jaina or do I go Thrall? And I just did not feel right picking a character from like one half of the game and alienating the other half. I was like, all right, Illidan's in the middle. We'll talk about it. Yeah, Illidan's amazing choice for sure.
The way that he's described, it's like the Zantok of the World of Warcraft universe.
I hate everything and everyone.
Yeah,
burn.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And always popping off, always, constantly.
Then once a year he arrives to sell beer at the North Church stage.
Absolutely, with his absolute demon accent. Like there's nothing but demon, and you don't know me. Like, he's just straight demon voice. Like, that shit is crazy.
I'm trying to look up who his voice is now. Who
God,
voices this guy? I think I know. Actually, I think I know who his VA is. So I think I looked. Okay, yeah, Liam O'Brien, or sometimes. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Liam in World of Warcraft, but in Warcraft 3, it was Matthew Yang King.
Illidan is a hugely popular character still to this day. I mean, if we're talking, comparable to Kerrigan, Kerrigan's essentially obsolete, and Illidan is in his prime.
Next,
when we were talking about characters too, that's Eric was also highly recommending Illidan for this.
Yeah,
you've got to go with Illidan, eh?
Well, he's becoming our lead protagonist slowly. Like, he's currently he's embarking on the hero's journey, and he is not a willing participant, which just makes him that more compelling.
Gotta love the unwilling hero.
Yeah, absolutely, unwilling hero. Everybody loves that.
Again, very Zantok coded.
Well, our next character is a little bit different. From the Diablo franchise, I considered the big man himself, but I was like, nah, we got Illidan. I don't want to have the direct comparison here of Illidan and Diablos. So instead, we have Deckard Cain.
Oh, stay a while and listen. Spoiler alert.
He's dead.
Okay.
I looked it up. He's dead.
It's Diablo.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Deckard Cain's dead. It's Diablo, just kind of puppeting his body. And, yeah, that's actually really funny though. That's really, I think that's really cool. Honestly, I don't know a lot about Deckard Cain, before he was, Diablo 3, basically, just being puppeteered. But
from what I looked up, he's a historian, and I think also like I don't know like how accomplished of a mage, but he would always be the guy that you would go to identify your magical shit, and he'd tell you about it. And then I know in Heroes of the Storm they basically used him as a way to represent general gameplay, like he'll throw down potions and such. I could see.
Wow. That was after that would have been. I guess I didn't know Deckard Cain was in Heroes of the Storm.
Yep.
That's crazy.
There's only one character in Heroes of the Storm that is not from StarCraft, Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, or as an original character. The only character not in any of those categories is the Lost Vikings. From the Lost Vikings.
They're their own category. That's why.
I love it's just like they're their only thing that's just like not for one of the main games, and I considered throwing them in, but I was like, I can't.
How did I miss Deckard Cain?
So they got fast tracked.
How did I miss Deckard Cain and HOTS? I don't even know. I don't even know.
When was he added is the question.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. 2018. Oh, no. Never mind. Yeah, I don't know. But ranged healer, that makes sense, I guess. I'm thinking he gets mopped up, though. I'm thinking he gets schmopped. It's hard. It's really hard to name healers. Anduin, but he's even just like a warrior healer. I don't. The thing is, when
he sets up by throwing potions that people can then pick up.
Right.
It's like area effect denial and zoning potential.
And so the difficulty with that with that style is there's no defense to like the Zerg, right? Mm-hmm. So if somebody starts hitting you over the head, maybe you can throw a couple potions out, but that third and fourth hit is going to hurt real bad. And typically you want to, you've got these healers that kind of surround themselves with, their fighters, and I don't know. I think he's going to have a rough time, but I like his odds. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I feel like he could have something. He could have some tricks up his sleeve because he's a less known, and I don't necessarily think his skill set is as broad as especially some of the other folks that we just mentioned. But maybe if it depends on, is he magician like magic Deckard Cain, or is this Diablo Deckard Cain where he's just Diablo's gonna pop out of him at any second here? Like,
I feel like if he was Adam Smash, it would be like normal Deckard Cain from the first two games, and I think they would use him as a way to kind of represent like player gameplay outside of he's gonna be more of a magical sort, so not swords and everything, but represent like general speaking Diablo gameplay, since the player characters are generic avatar characters. He's a character that you can just slap that onto.
Boy, shout out for you you pulled this guy right out of your back pocket, because I don't even know how many people know who Deckard Cain is. Honestly, that's a good one.
When you've been in the Smash speculation scene as long as I have, you pick up a few names.
Yeah, right.
What, 18 years was it?
2006, 2007.
Yeah.
I've been around the block. Illidan actually had a moveset created for him on Mercurios back in the day by DK3.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the first time I heard of Illidan and of Warcraft in general, I think.
Wow. Yeah, Deckard Cain would have a little bit harder time. Like his moveset would be that.
It would be a challenge to make one for him, but I think they could do it.
Oh, definitely. Because,
yeah.
well, because you can always come up with new potions, and they can all, you can basically mimic anything with a potion, right? Like punch it, like this potion makes this freeze guy pop open, and he punches you in the face.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
There you go.
He could
Done.
summon the generic hero to do an attack.
Yeah, there you go.
This cow potion turns you into the cow from Mario Kart.
Right?
There is no secret cow level. That's another reason why I had cow in this episode.
That's that's interesting that because that's interesting.
Speaking of, I have an enemy submission of the Hell Bovine on this Mashtopia Wiki. Yeah, that's right. I went there.
Oh, you did. That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, our fourth combatant in the Blizzard-centric Smash Dash Battle Royale is obviously from Overwatch, and we all know who the obvious choice from Overwatch is, right? Right? It's Wrecking Ball.
Wrecking Ball. No,
Yeah.
it's Tracer.
Not Tracer. It's Tracer. I wanted to say a different character. I really wanted to include a different character here, just like not be the obvious choice, but I was like, the other options were like Genji, and I was like, all right, I would rather type out Tracer than Genji.
Yeah, well, Winston.
True, Winston could be interesting.
Baby Winston.
Oh no, we're not Mario Kart in this shit.
Deckard Cain in Overwatch.
I actually consider like the poster character for Overwatch 2, Sojourn. That's who like I would have gone instead of Tracer most likely.
Yeah, I mean,
but
Genji is one of the coolest, honestly.
Yeah.
And then what's the cowboy guy's name?
What is his new name? It used to be McCree, but then they changed it for reasons.
Because of
Cassidy.
Cassidy, yeah.
Yeah, maybe don't name your characters off people that work in the office because if shit goes down, you're in trouble.
Well, Blizzard loves to do that.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. He was saying that to one of the other employees, and then that person, I think he was involved in some like the abuse scandals. I think is what happened. I'm not entirely sure.
Yes. I just saw that.
But with Tracer, actually, I guess we haven't had our intro on Tracer yet. I can cover this one actually because I actually played Overwatch. I played Overwatch fairly early on, and had an FPS of 3, so all I could play was Torbjorn until I got a better computer. It was rough. But Tracer is one of the leading characters of the Overwatch games. She was not part of like the original Overwatch team in the game's lore. She was basically like the next generation character that helped to reactivate everybody more or less and bring them back into the fight. Her whole deal is that she was she's from London. She's a British character, and she was in the Air Force. And due to an accident, she ended up getting more or less lost in time and would keep blipping, like disappearing, and just appearing forward in time and whatnot. And they had to strap a device to her chest to stop her from just getting lost forever in the time soup. But now she can use it to channel her time manipulation abilities to get a burst of speed going forwards, or to use recall and reappear wherever she was like some amount of seconds ago as an ability. I actually made a moveset for her on the Smashtopia Wiki back in like 2018, 2017, an age ago. God damn, that was a fucking lifetime ago. It feels like
a few fortnights.
Yeah. And she was an interesting character to make then, using her guns and her recall ability, her pulse bomb that she has. She's got a lot of stuff there. Overwatch being a very futuristic setting sets her apart from all these other options here. Unfortunately, now Overwatch 2 has decided to just make decisions, and I have not played the game in a long time. If they ever decide to go back and add in the story mode and have some single player content, you'll got me. But I need my single player, motherfuckers. But with Tracer, with Deckard, with Illidan, with Sarah Kerrigan, we have 4 characters that could all potentially play very differently from each other. Sarah,
Wow.
she's got the blades on her wings, but she's also got the Zergling, so she could be a big time summoner character, just overwhelming opponents. Illidan's got wings for flight. He's got magic. He's got these wicked ass looking Klingon blades that will just cut people apart. Deckard, old man, mage, healer, potions. Gonna be more of a magic focused person more than likely. Tracer, we got future guns. We got future pistols and time manipulation. 4 very, very different characters here. Any of them would fit.
What about the Klingon blades, Gabe?
Warglaives.
Warglaives.
The Warglaives of Azeroth.
Like that.
Yeah. They're honestly hard to deal with.
They look hard to use. Like, in a real setting, wielding those things, I don't even know how, man.
Yeah, no. But to be fair, he does have wings that just kind of pop out of his back when he needs them. So we're not dealing, yeah.
One day.
So let's chat.
Oh,
what do we think about these characters? Who would we like to see? Who could be good? Who maybe is kind of Who has like some good tools to pull from? What could we do here? Because since this is a battle royale, instead of having like a straight up 1v1 matchup, instead at the end of this discussion, we're going to be picking 2 out of these 4 to add this mash, and the other 2 will be dashed.
Yeah. What I'm feeling is, Sarah Kerrigan is a legacy character. StarCraft was huge in the 90s, early 2000s. And she has the summoning aspect to her character that is unique to Smash and is an iconic female villain. A lot of good pluses there. Illidan and Tracer, I will be honest, up front. Sometimes we get these matchups that are like, okay, give me every reason to not just pick these 2. Right? Like, they are very present. They have a lot to their kits. They're from the 2 active franchises, like really active franchises, popular in the mainstream. And then Deckard, I think of all of them is kind of, he's the wild card. Like, if you can convince me that there's a reason for him to be there within these 4 against these other 3, it's like, okay, I'm listening. Like, he's an interesting character, but he does have a lot of competition. So that's where I'm at now.
My whole thing is, so the first thing I thought is, who's going to handle Illidan, right? And then I think, well, could all 3 of them, since it's a battle royale, could all 3 of them handle Illidan? Yeah, they could. They got a pocket healer in Deckard Cain, and they've got a demon in Kerrigan, and they've got a ranged in Tracer. Like, she fucks him up. Tracer fucks him up because he's dealing with Kerrigan, and I think they're going to be and with Deckard Cain healing, I think they can overtake Illidan. At least they can imprison him for sure. And then it's out of those 3, I don't know if anybody's going to have an answer for Kerrigan after that. After we put away Illidan, Tracer's ranged. It's going to be hard. It's going to be real hard. And then because honestly, it's a movement thing. It's Tracer's just going to kite. Tracer's just going to kite her. She's never going to be able to catch Tracer. Never. Like, so at that point, it's where's Deckard Cain in all this? So if he, I don't think Kerrigan and Deckard Cain can overcome the amount of movement ability and ranged ability that Tracer's going to bring to the table. She's from the future. She has a distinct advantage in being from the future. Deckard Cain is an archaic character that could work in his advantage if he and Tracer. So here's my scenario. In a battle royale, Kerrigan, Deckard Cain, and Tracer take out Illidan, and then Deckard Cain and Tracer. If Tracer even wants to work with Deckard Cain, because I think Tracer can take out Kerrigan and Deckard Cain together, I say Tracer for the win.
Okay.
And fucking A's, if you would have told me, if you would have asked me that question without getting to walk through it, I would have said Illidan all day. Even at the beginning of this conversation, I didn't think they could overcome Illidan, but there's no way they can't with that. They basically have a fucking full dungeon. You know, you got range, you got healer, you got a tank. That's a fucking team. Like you can't. He's not going to be able to overcome that. He doesn't have. Now flip it like this. If Deckard Cain was healing Illidan, they're completely unstoppable. Like no one, and that's where Deckard Cain becomes the fucking the key. Because
Deckard
if
is
Deckard
the royal vizier to Illidan.
so essentially if he Jafars with anybody but wait, Jesus, I lost it.
Jesus isn't here. He's in a different game.
Yeah.
That's
I don't think Trace. Well, I don't think Kerrigan can win with just Deckard. Jesus, they all need him. They would all need Jesus. All three of them.
Because we can do our own battle royale too. Like the four of us versus the four of them. Jesus, you, me, Lister.
Well, the thing with Jesus is he has a battle res. So how do you go against that? Like he brings you back to life today, right now, for the fight.
Yeah.
Not later. Not after. Well, maybe I don't know. But man, this is a conundrum. This is a conundrum, Zantok. This is a conundrum. There's no way to spin this where there's a clear winner of all. I don't think any one person can win this.
Well, the good news is that these four are not actually fighting. Instead, they're fighting for a chance to be playable in Smash. And I do agree. I don't think there's a clear winner in that conversation either, though. It's the hard part. Like,
is it every man for himself? Is it if it's every man for himself? Illidan, nobody can catch him. I mean, Tracer's going to run, but it's going to come down to Tracer and Illidan, and I think Illidan's going to win, unless those pulse pistols are unlimited ammo.
They are just a slight recharge, or like an overheat type thing.
Yeah. So and you're done. I mean that little whatever it is, like 5 or 10 seconds. It's not that long, is it? It's like just a couple seconds.
I think it's that long. I'm having to check real quick.
It's like McCree's reload. It's like and back.
1 second. 1 second reload.
Yeah.
Actually, less than that. It's 0.686 seconds.
Yeah, still. So then I got to give it to Illidan. And in every man for himself. For me, no one can touch Illidan 1v1. It's not happening. They're still struggling to do that just in his own game. Like they're still fucking trying to kill him. Can't do it.
Now that's in a fight. But what about like who of these four characters would you also that's the fact like in terms of like who you would pick to become playable, especially like if you could choose any of these four, like it's like you very hard Illidan.
It's Illidan. He has the move. He has the set. He essentially he has utility and he's got the offense. He lacks in defense for sure, but so do the rest of them. Well, except Deckard Cain, obviously, and Kerrigan to some extent. But these Illidan can take a good hit, but he just can't regenerate. You know what I mean? So this is for me. If Tracer can kite him, Tracer takes it. If she can't, it's curtains. It all comes down to the kite for me at the end of the day. I don't think she can, and then with that, even if it is 0.68 seconds, a couple word lives to the face, that's enough time. There's just no two ways about it. That's enough time for him to swing like 6 times. 0.68 seconds. He's pop, 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 pop. Yeah, I think he gets it. So it's going to be close. It's going to be close, but I'm going to inch Illidan. I'm still going to inch Illidan out on an everyman.
You could put down what is it on a T-shirt? It's the kite for me.
It's a kite for me, dog.
All right. So yeah, I in the scope of the Smasher Dash too, like this quadruped thing, conglomerate of Blizzard characters we're considering. I agree. I'll say my lean now is Illidan and Tracer for the two that we would pass on into the next round for the Ultimate Tournament at the end of the season. That's and Gabe made a lot of good points, cogent points about their battle capabilities, and I think that paired with just like the relevancy, like where these characters are in the public conscience, I think that Deckard and Sarah Kerrigan have their it's more of an uphill battle for them. I could be convinced maybe, but right now that's where I'm at.
Oh, minus the Zerg. If you bring in the Zerg, you can't. You can't add the Zerg. Then it's StarCraft you're adding, essentially.
Toy Story.
Well, see, here's my thoughts, because again, unlike Wraith Chance was us being realistic and like thinking what we think the character chances are. With Smash Dash, it's purely who do we want personally to add into Smash, and we can say into these 4 for any reason. My lean, I see a lot of potential in Illidan. I think he'd be a lot of fun, and I like the idea of World of Warcraft, the granddaddy of MMOs, being acknowledged and represented in Smash Bros. I love that. I've been calling for that for a while now. Tracer, Overwatch. I liked Overwatch a lot in the beginning, but I fell off pretty hard on it. I started gritting a lot of. I'm interested in the lore, but the gameplay just was starting not to be for me. And then the whole Overwatch 2 thing has kind of soured me a lot on Overwatch in general. No fault of Tracers. It's more fault of Blizzard, the company, making decisions. Deckard Cain. Diablo does have a game that like it's still getting content right now. Like they're still in season, so it's still a relevant franchise with Diablo 4, I believe. Yeah, Diablo 4 released in 2023, so very recent game. Deckard though died in 3.
Well, they just released a DLC 2 months ago, maybe.
Yeah,
right at the beginning of the year.
And he appears in like he has an appearance in Diablo 4, but I can't tell what it is because it just says Deckard Cain, along with many Diablo 2 characters, appears in the Vision of Tristram in Diablo 4, but there's no elaboration, and the link for Vision of Tristram is for a page that doesn't exist on Diablo Wiki, so I can't get any further on that. But Diablo 1 and 2 was a important character to a degree. Sarah Kerrigan, StarCraft. StarCraft has not had a new game since 2017. And even then, that was a remaster of the original StarCraft. That said, even though it hasn't had a new game, StarCraft is still very active as an esport game, especially in South Korea. It is the biggest shit there, period.
StarCraft is huge.
Well, like how Terry and Fatal Fury is like huge in South America, StarCraft is a South Korea thing, big time. They fucking love that game, and all the best players are there.
Yeah, exactly. They dominate the space.
Yeah. As for Sarah herself being a character, I mean, like I said previously, if you ask an outsider to name a character from StarCraft, they are either going to say Sarah Kerrigan, or they're going to misunderstand and say Zerg. Zerglings or Zerg Rush or something Zerg, because they don't know any character, they just know that. and because it's Zerg Rush, that's what we know about StarCraft. And if she got in, she has melee capabilities, but I see her doing a lot of Zerg summoning. Her final smash is going to be a Zerg Rush that's just going to like go into a cinematic and just overrun whatever characters are in her array and just destroy them. As for playability of all four of them, I think all four have potential. I have a hard lean to a number one, and I have a softer lean to a number two. I think. How do I put this? I think all four have potential in different areas. They all four have different specialties and movesets. I think. I think Deckard is less interesting, and I think Tracer is less interesting compared to Sarah and compared to Illidan. I think Tracer does have interesting potential. Deckard, if I knew more about Diablo, I could probably judge it better. Tracer's time stuff is where she's most interesting, but Illidan being the big Warcraft, his blades, his magic, and then Sarah being Zergs and her wings.
Yeah.
I think there's fun there.
I think it's also worth it to consider, though, that three of them, Deckard Cain, Illidan, and Tracer, are all just single characters. And if you bring the Zerg in with Kerrigan, you're basically fighting a whole faction.
Yeah.
There's no stopping the Zerg. They're endless, and so that's an army. You know what I mean? So in that sense, it would have to be Illidan and the Demon Hunters, and then Deckard Cain and accompanied from like Diablo monsters. You'd have to bring some skeletons or some shit with it, like and then Tracer, I don't know who I don't know who the fuck she could bring, honestly.
Maybe Winston.
Maybe she could. I guess that's right. No, she brings the Overwatch. She brings Overwatch.
I mean, yeah, if this was like an actual battle royale, they'd be bringing in their armies, and Tracer would summon all of Overwatch, and Deckard would die. But honestly, as playable in Smash, though, like they'd just be nerfing. Like she'd be summoning one, and then it'd go up on a thing. Illidan would be on his own. Tracer would be on his own. They wouldn't need their things. Just like as far as being playable in the Smash Brothers games.
Oh gosh. Right. And honestly, with that, I can't. The only one that I couldn't do would be Deckard. Like the other three are like, whoa. That I have to have Illidan and Zerg Kerrigan. Like I have to try that. Like, what do we got to do? Like, I might make a call or whatever. But that's just fun. That's just straight up fun right there. And they're both kind of demony. They're both kind of monstery. Changed from who they were both originally something else.
Yeah.
Just regular looking elf and lady, and now you've what do they call that? Morphed into this monster, essentially monsterized, or
more or less.
Yeah.
Deckard was originally a young man, and then he got old.
And then Tracer's just hot.
Yeah, Tracer was originally a pilot, and then she had a time accident.
Yeah.
It's like I think what does intrigue me about Deckard, and I think at least for he's the least interested me from a playable perspective. What does interest me about him is the fact that because I said with Diablo, with any game that uses player avatar characters, it's really hard to use those player avatars and make them picture them as a character, because you could do a billion different things with them because they have all these different classes and weapons and magic, and wow, god, where do you go with things? Deckard, being a Diablo 1 and 2 character, you could do something simple for him that kind of represents how that character would take magic from the first game. He's not going to be the playable character, but he can sort of be their stand-in ish.
He's in hot. He's in hots as a healer. Yeah. So there's kind of a precedent there where it's we kind of know he's going to be, and this is also where it's okay, well, what do I don't know that. I mean, I don't play Smash as much as I'd like to, and I'm going to start playing more. I'm going to buy whatever comes out next just to so I can be more knowledgeable. But are there support classes in Smash?
No character does any direct healing, because healing in Smash is potentially OP as shit. Definitely. Well, actually, some characters can do minor healing as a part of them, like the Wii Fit trainer. when she uses one of her moves, if she charges it all the way and she gets the timing of it, then she can heal a small amount of damage. But typically, as far as like healing or support is concerned, that's where items typically come to play.
Yeah.
Like you eat a super mushroom, you grow, you throw the team healer item at your ally, and they heal off some damage. If you're playing Shulk, you can use your down special Monado arts to increase the capabilities of one of your stats, being your jumping capability, your movement, your damage. You can increase any of those, your defense capabilities as well. But typically, it's like even though like you can do like 2v2s in Smash, like there's no like dedicated healers or support classes of that. It's just I've made characters that like have used defensive techniques for movesets, but there's not like this character is dedicatedly built to pair to this other character and heal or support them.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
And so, just like you said, it would be way overpowered. It would fundamentally change the game, and that's why I personally have to not. I'm not gonna make the pick that's got to change the whole game for me to want to. I have to go with Illidan. I've played Tracer. I've played in their games. I played Tracer. I played Illidan. Deckard. I didn't play Deckard in HOTS, but I get it. And and I played Kerrigan in StarCraft and in HOTS. And no one is more fun than Illidan out of those four. That is just fun. It's just fun and powerful, and you feel. Let's put it this way: I have a character I named Illidan. I named one of my personal characters that I play today is named Illidan.
Nice.
So I think I'm biased. I'm just biased because it's just he's too much fun. Too much fun. Too compelling. Cast out, gone to prison, redeemed. Everybody loves an underdog. Everybody loves a comeback kid. Oh man, and this kid has come back. He's come back so many times. So for me, I think I've gone all the way around the world here, and now I've gone from Tracer. I've got reasons for Kerrigan, and I could even put Deckard Cain in a situation where I would say, yeah, pick him. But I think hands down, when I'm going with my gut for fun and for who I want to see, there's no one else but Illidan. It has to be Illidan for me. That's just. I gotta see it. I gotta see, or something like there's got to be something that happens where it's a baby Illidan or some kind of little demon flying demon dude that has that. He has the eye beam. He has the war glaives. He's just a real badass. That just
Dr.
really
Kazuya Mishima. He has the devil gene, and one of his special moves is him going into his devil form and shooting out eye lasers.
There you go.
Yeah.
See? So that's where I'm at.
I think there's a consensus for Illidan.
No, for sure.
Illidan would be my number one.
Yeah. Me too. So Illidan's in.
Illidan is in. Illidan is moving on. He wins. But now we need number 2. Who of the other 3 are we going to have join Illidan as a playable character in Smash? Tracer,
right?
Deckard Cain, or Sarah Kerrigan?
Mm-hmm.
Did we lose Gabe?
Yeah.
No. Oh, no, I'm here.
Your camera went off.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's okay. That's okay. We're bringing it home anyway. I would say, Gabe, at this point, which of those 3 characters would be your number 2 vote?
Dude. Man, it's between Tracer and Kerrigan. I think I'm going to go with Kerrigan. I think I'm going to go with Kerrigan just because she's a lot of fun. She's a lot of, and you know what? There's also the fact that when Kerrigan's walking up, your opponent is scared. Your opponent is scared just because you're walking up with Kerrigan. You're walking up with Tracer. She feels a little bit more like you're clapping your hands. You're getting ready. You want a good fight. Kerrigan's walking up, and there's something that washes over you. You're like, fuck.
You just shit your pants.
Yeah, I didn't want this. So I'm
signed up to fight against today. Oh God.
Yeah, exactly. What happened? My phone died. That's.
I see. Okay.
Can't charge at the same time.
Okay. We spent a lot of time talking about the cow, so your phone gave up.
Yeah, I gave up. It's a little Apple symbol on there.
And just to make it interesting, I'll stick my foot with Tracer. Again, like the time slip stuff is interesting for a character. I really enjoyed Lister, your moveset you made for her years ago. I thought that was it still is a standout moveset for you because you had to really work within a different set of expectations than what a Smash character usually operates.
She was
in.
hard to make a moveset for.
Yeah,
it was a
and
challenge.
Honestly, that might change my mind because that was one of the biggest obstacles I was having with Tracer. Is like her biggest thing is her movement, and that how do you that's kind of taken away from her in the Smash setting. I don't know if that's where we're at. It's hard. It's hard for me.
Oh, John already posted it. I'll give you the link.
No.
But basically,
Zantok,
I'll go over like briefly how I made her work. Fucking ages ago. Standard special, pulse pistols. She pulls them out. She unleashes like a volley of shots, just like really quick shots. That lasts a couple of seconds before she has to stop and reload. Short range though, so it doesn't go like all the way across the screen. Her side special is Blink, where it's a very quick dash forwards, essentially.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Like Fox's Fox Illusion. Up special is Slipstream, which is basically a teleport. I basically had to make this up because, how do you make an up move with a lot of characters? He basically blinks upwards. That special is where it gets weird. This is Recall. It has to be charged up over time, kind of like Wario Waft Fire Attack. It takes a full minute to fully charge this move, and it cannot be used until it is fully charged. Once charged, though, you can activate it, and Tracer will go back in time, in her personal time, 10 seconds ago in the match. This will set her damage to whatever it was 10 seconds ago. If she was KO'd less than 10 seconds ago, then it just goes back to the 0%, which actually should not be possible because you don't have to charge up to a minute. I might have to rewrite that. Tracer will also return to whatever point on the screen that she was in 10 seconds ago. If it's blocked off due to whatever reason, she'll just appear to as close to that spot as possible. The only thing it will not affect for her is the amount of stocks that she has, so she can't regain any lives. It also will not affect any items that she is holding or was holding 10 seconds ago. And it cannot change the state of the stage, match, or any other players.
For a full minute charge?
Yeah.
I need some damage too. Why don't you give me the damage that she has caused in the last 10 seconds?
What do you mean?
I recall all the damage that she did in that last 10 seconds is coming with another shot if I can land the recall.
Okay, so you're saying like if wherever she appears, if there is a character there, the character gets like time distortion damage from being in her way.
Exactly. If I can hit you with the recall, like if I can get you in a position that will actually hit you with my recall, I want because I need damage, right? I need some kind of damage because I got Blink, I got Slipstream. The only thing that I have damage so far is Pulse Pistols, and that's just my standard attack. And it looks like Pulse Bomb is coming up. Tell me about that.
Yeah, Pulse Bomb is the final smash. So, and to also clarify, like every character also has like normal attacks. They're basically like punches when they're on the ground. They have smash attacks that are charged moves when you're on the ground. And then when they're in the air, tilt the control stick up, down, left, or right, and you press the A button for an attack, and you have like different aerials. So it's not like Pulse Pistol isn't like her only way of doing damage. It's just of these special moves, the B button attacks. That's the only one that has damage.
Okay.
Pulse Bomb though is her final smash, so she gets Smash Ball, activates her ultimate attack basically. And I basically took this from her ult in Overwatch, or at least her ult at the time. Maybe she's changed since now. I don't know, but for this, she'll take out a Pulse Bomb, throw it a short distance out in front of her, spirals, pulsates with energy, and then it explodes a couple seconds later. The explosion is just slightly smaller than that of the Smart Bomb item, which is a pretty big size explosion. And instead of being like a constant rolling explosion, it's like hitting it multiple times, it's just one pulse doing a high amount of damage to all players that are in its range, dealing a high amount of knockback to them, sending them flying across the screen.
Okay, and then bullet time is just standard bullet time.
Bullet time is the extra skill. The extra skills for our Smashtopia stuff is like an extra attack essentially that doesn't exist in Smash proper, but we have created because we want to be unique. This
So
move also has, instead of a 1 minute charge up, it's a 1 minute cool down after you use it.
right.
And it
So I'm
sends
thinking
out a blast of energy around her that can slow down people that were next to her.
Okay. So
instead
not
of-
like max pain bullet time, like
Right. It's not dodging projectiles, but like if I'm next to you and I use bullet time, you are now
yeah.
under a slow effect for 3 seconds.
Okay, I love that. And yeah, I'm changing my pick to Tracer.
Interesting.
Well,
Well, I knew that. Well, that's the whole problem I had with Tracer was how does the movement work, right?
Mhm.
And so like with this is clear and it makes sense. And yeah, I mean, yeah, Kerrigan's not going to have anywhere near like the utility that of this, and it just really I already knew that Tracer was going to be the kite or die, motherfucker, kite or die. So I think this pushes it over the edge for me personally, and yeah, minus endless Zerg, Tracer for sure.
All right. So Jonno, you're still then on your Tracer vote as well?
yes.
All right. That means either I vote for Tracer or I get outvoted, because Tracer's already got 2 votes, and that's all she needs to get. But I was going to put my vote down on Sarah Kerrigan just so we have the record straight. Because I like the idea, like even though like I've kind of gotten softer on Overwatch, and well, I've never played StarCraft, I've never really seen it be played, and I don't really know a whole lot about Sarah. I love the idea. I like how Jonno likes his stance change characters. I like the idea of a character that just summons, whether that's like summon for a single attack or can bring out like little guys to attack for her. There's multiple ways to approach it, but I love the idea of a summoning based character in Smash Brothers. And Sarah is a great choice for that. It's what Zerg are known for. And just like her design, it's just like, oh god. Like you said,
But
like you see this person walking up to you, it's like, oh god,
it's intimidating. But if you're saying that can she summon any Zerg?
Well, Smash would probably limit it to like the special moves where she would be doing the summoning.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
yeah,
They ended up picking like what they want to do and how many. There'd be limitations and nerfs to things, but
yeah, it'd be the little Zerglings.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they'd make something work. If they can make Mr. Game & Watch and the Wii Fit Trainer and Rob work and so many other characters,
I have no doubt.
Easily make Sarah work.
Oh, I have no doubt. I think so too, for sure. She's been in 2 games already. But that's it. I mean, it's your fault. You made that tracer moves set is too good. I don't think. I mean, that's literally changed my mind. Literally changed my mind. I know Kerrigan is much more powerful and has much more available, but that move set is not touchable.
Well,
it's not. It's not touchable. Like not from Sarah Kerrigan's perspective, because she doesn't have ranged. She doesn't have a solid range. Her ranged is slow. Like she's sending out Zerglings. She's hitting you at a pretty decent, and she's got a rush, but it's only 1. You know, it's nothing substantial with all that. With the moveset that Tracer has, it's going to be very difficult for Kerrigan to get any substantial damage off at one time. It's going to be a slow grind, and it's going to be a slow grind. And I think Tracer, especially with those added moves, she's got an answer. She's got an answer to Zerg for sure. Slows. That's all she needs. They're already slow. She's slowing them more. Yeah, I have to go with Tracer. I'm convinced.
All right.
And
well,
I want to play it.
Well, with that, then we have our 2 winners, Illidan Stormrage and Tracer, who I think's last name is Oxton or something to that effect. No, Tracer's her code name. That's right. Her real name is Lena
Tracer
Oxton.
from Overwatch.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
They're in. As far as we're concerned, they are both being added to Smash. Meanwhile, Sarah Kerrigan and Deckard Cain have had their hopes be dashed. They will both be reappearing at the end of the season in our Tournament of Champions episode. Well, they'll be going up against the winners of all our other Smash Your Dash episodes this season. Will either one of them
Oh, yeah.
win? I don't fucking know. We got some oddballs this season. My God. It's going to be interesting. That's for damn
Will
sure.
they beat Ratata and Bidoof? Stay tuned.
Not at all. Bidoof wins.
They are not prepared.
Die. Anywho, that is going to be it for this one. Thank you, of course, for coming on and talking some Blizzard with us and giving some history and some knowledge on these characters.
Anytime. I love talking to you guys. I love theory crafting. This has been a true pleasure. Thank you so much.
We love you.
I love you.
And what a I love you. And what a treat it was to have you and Lister in the same physical realm for a few days.
Yeah.
History was made, and we got to celebrate it here today with Blizzard Battle Royale plus cow.
Plus cow. But there is no secret cow level. Let's be real.
No.
It does not exist.
No, if there were,
there's also no jelly world.
A soldier. Oh yeah. No.
I've never even heard of a secret cow level. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm clueless completely. It just never happened.
Yep, it does not exist. With that said, that is going to be the end of this episode. Next time, we got a non-topic, and our topic is going to be, oh god, it's the Minecraft movie.
Boom, boom.
And on that note, might I say, I am Steve.